Welcome to Ignite 2017 Day 1. I'm Stephen Rose, your host from the OneDrive Product Marketing team, and I'm super excited to have you guys join us this week. We have some great interviews for you. I've got Jeff Teeper, I've got Omar Shaheen, and all of the folks from the OneDrive engineering team. We're going to stop by the booth, we're going to take a look at some of the great features and new function that we're announcing this week at the conference, and lots of cool interviews, MVPs, you name it. You've got a great seat to see everything that's going to happen in the OneDrive world here at Ignite. So, Day 1, let's get started. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here in the booth with Jeff Teeper, CVP from Office and father of Sharepoint, OneDrive, and all great things that help people to collaborate and do teamwork.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks
Great
for
to be here.
us. So, what are some of the big announcements for OneDrive that you had today?
Wow, there's a lot. In fact, it was one of the longest blog posts I think I'd ever been a part of. Clearly, OneDrive Files on Demand, the GA coming up in October. People are really excited about that, being able to browse all their files, personal work, individual team, on a Windows device, Windows 10 device, without taking them offline, and getting them when they need is great. A lot of sharing simplicity. We announced that not only are we going to have the same sharing dialogue across the shells, so Finder and Explorer, and the web UI, but we're bringing that into Office, and we're making simple external sharing secure and much easier than we've made it in the past, which is great. We've got, I think, 270 file types, third-party.
277 file viewers now.
277.
Yeah.
I do look at it once every couple weeks. You guys look at it every day,
We do.
Which is awesome. So everything from sort of markdown, sort of techie stuff, to zip files, to things like medical images,
all
MRIs,
the DICOM images,
and,
exactly,
X-rays and so forth. So that's great. A lot of stuff. One of the big things that we highlighted is not just the third-party support for OneDrive, but all the great first-party integration we've been doing with Office to make collaboration more seamless, engaging, real-time co-authoring coming now to Excel on Windows desktop, so we'll have support across web, Windows, Mac, mobile for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, doing real-time co-authoring only against OneDrive and SharePoint and Office 365, and a lot more features, app mentions, activities, and so forth. The intelligence and collaborative capabilities of OneDrive projecting inside the Office apps. One of the big things, we've been doing a lot of sync updates, some for end users, some for manageability and IT. One of the big things people had asked us for was to sync IRM-supported libraries. So that's coming out.
Multi-geo.
Multi-geo. This is something for larger enterprises that need to segment their email mailboxes and their personal OneDrives in different regions for data sovereignty. We are announcing the ability to do that come later this year with sharing and search working as appropriate across those. Conditional access support, expanding OneDrive and SharePoint and EMS. So, the list goes on and on. Every time I talk to somebody, it's like 142 features. No, it's 147 features, but it's a lot, and I think the key is that OneDrive is delivering the best anywhere access for all your information, third-party content, Office content, personal work, and with the level of security and compliance and trust that's sort of unmatched. We haven't even talked about e-discovery, data loss prevention, records management, encryption. One of the things we're announcing is the availability of bring your own key support for Office 365, which of course is something that OneDrive will use. And
so many customers have asked for. And I think that's a really good point, because we've released over 100 features this year, but 43 of those were driven by user voice. And I think that really speaks a lot to the engineering team.
That is one of the things that I'm most excited about, is that the OneDrive PM team, as you know, was really able to get up in their session and sort of show the user voice, and that we took a lot of things off that list. And we're really proud of that. We're proud of that, how the team listens. Some of the things that we get asked for, like the things that became Files on Demand, are hard technical work and cross-company work. We had to do work in the Windows kernel to make that work.
You and Terry's team getting together and
in an unmatched way. It was a great day to take that one off the user voice list, along with
it's our number one.
yes, and along with 42 others. And
Yeah.
so I am again really proud of how much the team is listening to customers, and keep it coming. I know there's more things people want us to do, and I hope this shows that we actively look at user voice. We wish we could get through the list faster,
Sure.
Mythical Man Month and all, but we are really proud to the news this week.
Absolutely, you guys did an amazing job.
Yeah.
This year was 10 years for OneDrive. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that? And also sort of where do you see OneDrive going as you look at that 50,000 foot level?
Wow. So I think a lot of what we can do, given we have the great capabilities, is just make it more ubiquitous. Make it simpler when you're getting Microsoft 365 on any device.
Right.
Windows device, of course, but Mac, mobile device, if you've got an old device with just a browser. So things around user simplicity, IT deployment manageability, really top of mind. As you know, we published a stat earlier in this year that we have over 100 million monthly active users in the commercial service of
Wow.
Office 365. OneDrive in the consumer service is actually even bigger than that. We want to empower 1 billion people to do content collaboration around the world in their personal and work life. And so we will do everything from user simplicity and things like sharing to very future-oriented things. I don't know that everybody knows that OneDrive is the file picker in HoloLens.
Exactly.
So as we help take mixed reality more mainstream, you'll be able to actually go grab those 3D images that are in OneDrive, put them into your virtual world, whether they're a car or a funny toy that you've made. And so that just shows the sky's the limit. A lot of AI stuff coming to OneDrive, some of which we talked about this week in terms of photo tagging and so forth, but much more coming. So I think 100 million commercial users and comparable or more number of consumer users is a good start, but
Absolutely.
only a start.
No, and we're 300% year-over-year growth, and that continues to go. August being an amazing month with millions of users who have jumped on board. So we've just had an amazing run.
When I started out in the company and we sold servers to people and you could track your server sales, it was kind of fun. But this is amazing. As you said, we are seeing millions of new users of OneDrive every week.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic, and we measure in data science terms the retention of those, how many stick with it, and a lot of the product development goes to optimizing that retention rate so as many people as possible stick with it. And it's been great to see the huge volume of data. A business customer we've talked about a couple times, Accenture, almost 400,000 people using OneDrive.
Absolutely great.
We announced earlier in the year they'd done a petabyte. They're now up to 2 petabytes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We have Lowe's on stage tomorrow,
yes.
240,000 seats that they're moving to. So,
so it's just that vote of confidence from customers is very humbling.
And that's what I was going to say. You spend a lot of time with customers. How has that changed in the past 2 or 3 years? I mean, we've done the new next generation sync client. We went from having a PowerShell script to manage it to a full-out admin center, a great mobile app, which we're about to do better, the new Fluid UI that we're doing across all of the different platforms.
Yeah, you almost want to sort of, not go back in time sometimes, some days. If we went back to, say, Ignite in 2015, Omar Shaheen, Jason Moore, a lot of the team that was here, said, heard from customers that we could do better, that we could bring together the consumer and business work in a consistent experience. We could do a better job connecting SharePoint and OneDrive. We could do a better job in giving people a way to collaborate, but with security, so that you had auditing and encryption and all that. And we, as you well know, we doubled down. We, grew the team significantly. We aligned OneDrive and SharePoint, and we are easily the biggest customer of Azure. I write them a nice big check for OneDrive every month, which I'm proud to do.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's been great that, as you said with the user voice stat, that it's a very, data-driven, customer-driven team, and we're grounded that we have a lot more to do. But I think compared to Ignite in, what was it, 2015, Ignite in 2017, I think we did 5 years worth of work in 2 years. I'm really proud of the team.
Amazing job, and so many customers have been so excited to see not only what we've done, but again, like we said, really listening to our customers, hearing what they want, but also balancing evolution and revolution, adding things like iMessage sharing, which nobody really expected, deep integration of files on demand so that you can search from it from the browser, that you can use intelligence and things you can't do with any of our competitors. So that balance has been really great.
And no complacency. We know that customers have a lot of needs to transform their organizations. We know there's a lot of other choices out there. So we are going to do a great job not just talking at Ignite, but listening to what people want from us.
Right.
And we're going to go back next week and start writing down the plans for 2018. We've done, as you well know, the last 2 years, a May event before our fall Ignite event. And so you'll hear from us all in May of next year. Well, I mean, you'll hear from us all.
I'll hopefully have an inside track on this. But
you'll be helping make sure we pick the right priorities and we're clear on it. But no pat on the back. This is a fun week to celebrate, but back to work next week.
Yeah.
We are absolutely committed to having OneDrive and SharePoint delivering the most comprehensive, highest customer satisfaction content collaboration solution in the cloud. And we're just going to keep working on that.
Now we have a big moment in Dublin coming up in a few
months.
Yeah.
So in addition to sort of the Microsoft events, we have third-party events around the world. Dozens of these SharePoint Saturdays where we've sort of introduced people to OneDrive along the journey. And in a few weeks, the European SharePoint Conference, which is
Dublin, Ireland.
2,500 people, Dublin, Ireland. People who followed SharePoint know that happy hour at a SharePoint event is called Sharepoint. It was hours of brainstorming to come up with that. But what better way to celebrate with the community and talk about the latest in OneDrive and SharePoint than having a SharePoint with a Guinness in Dublin?
How many How many SharePoint summits did you went to? A whole bunch of them in the past year? Haven't you?
In the last year, I think I've been if you go back at Nashville right after we went to did the big announcement with the future of SharePoint.
Right.
And we announced OneDrive and SharePoint coming together May of last year. I wanted to go to one in the heart of America, great town, great music town, so I went to Nashville.
Nashville, sure.
And that was Daniel Glenn and team hosted me there. A little more around the world. I've gone to Paris. I've been to Geneva. I went to the first SharePoint Saturday in Geneva. Los Angeles, Twin Cities. That's crazy, man. They do 2 a year. 500-600 people on a Saturday in Minnesota learning about SharePoint. In a few weeks after the European SharePoint Summit, I'll be going to Oslo, Norway.
Oh, nice.
And so we're just incredibly grateful. This is a great event, Ignite, but not everybody is in a position, time or financially, to come to an event like this. And so we really want to make the information that's vital to people available. So we put all the talks online, and then our community, our MVPs, who are so terrific, go out there and go around the world for these free events. These SharePoint Saturday events are free, hosted by our community, so you don't have to take a day off work, you don't have to pay any money, you don't have to travel.
And such a great networking and knowledge share opportunity. I had my chance to do my first one. I was so impressed with just the passion of folks who work on SharePoint and want to see it. They love it and they go, but it could always be better, and here's my idea. And they're so passionate about doing that, which is great.
And we have, as a sign of the huge, you sort of can draw a graph correlating the growth in Office 365 with the growth in things like SharePoint Saturdays. On October 28th, there will be 6 simultaneous SharePoint Saturdays, every place from Nairobi to Barcelona, which I believe there are people who have counted more accurately than I have, but I think 6 in one weekend is the record.
That's crazy.
And so we're really grateful. We're certainly going to be out there talking about the latest in OneDrive, and it's a great forum for people to give us feedback as well there, too.
Perfect. So my final question for you is, we have customers out there who are not using OneDrive. They're still using shared drives. They're thinking about, what would you say?
Oh my gosh. now is the time to go to the cloud. There's a handful of organizations that actually have very specialized regulations where that's not possible.
Yeah.
And for them, we do have an on-premises server, and we're going to do another on-premises server as we announced earlier. But for pretty much everybody else, the best user experience, and more importantly, the best security is going to come in the cloud with OneDrive. That most organizations are not running with DLP, e-discovery, encryption, separation of duty, fault-tolerant data centers.
Lockbox, all those,
Dozens of outside security audits from third parties, pen testing and so forth. And so we want to make that incredibly easy. And so there's a couple of things we're doing. One is for organizations that get set up on Office 365 over a certain size. We will help you set up, get set up on OneDrive. If you don't want our help, we are introducing, as you know, this week, our own first-party migration tool.
We're taking the Fast Track tool, the Fast Track program for customers 500. We're going to make it self-service, so our smaller customers can get off those shared drives, get off those products.
And so that they'll be able to move from their shared drives or Sharepoint on-prem and move to the cloud themselves. And there are other alternatives out there. Office 365, we think at this point is unmatched in both the collaboration security capabilities. So, if your company's been using one of the others in pockets, hey, we'd love to have you as a customer, and we think we've got the best product, and we'll help you move over.
Absolutely, and with all the goodness in Windows 10, we see so many customers saying, we're going to do Windows 10, we're going to do Office, and when you're doing Office, OneDrive is just such a great way to save money.
Yeah.
That product is right there, it's so integral for that teamwork aspect that it's really great to be able to take a look at it and the graph and the power that brings to it for e-discovery and really understanding not just what you're doing, but what all the people around you are working on.
That's right, and the time was right, and Satya really pushed us to announce Microsoft 365 because customers do want a simple and secure solution to deploy a modern workplace for the desktop that brings together collaboration tools in Office, cloud storage and things like OneDrive, deep integration with Windows, files on demand. There's really not another product out there that does the level of integration with both third-party and first-party applications. And then you layer on all the collaboration capabilities in Office, real-time co-authoring, activity feeds, and so forth. We think Microsoft 365 is the way to go. That's why it's a big focus of the event this week from Satya on down. And OneDrive is kind of the foundation of all that.
Absolutely. Now, it's going to make customers' lives so much easier, so much better, and we're so excited with everything we're announcing this week to see folks start to go, hey, tell me a little bit more about that OneDrive thing.
Yeah,
we're ready.
We're sitting by the booth, and it's crowded.
It is crowded.
You and I both predicted the OneDrive booth would be sort of wall to wall, and it's great to see people excited to learn more, and that frankly it's great for the engineers and the team to be here and see the customer enthusiasm and feedback.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for stopping by, Jeff. I know you got a busy week.
Yeah, thanks.
Good luck. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.